Hey everybody, today we are creating some nails using the Makartt Your Nail Lab. I'm trying to decide which one I want to use, the acrylic powder or the polygel. I had to see what it looked like. It was so pretty, pink and glittery, definitely. So let's start off and take out all of the polish on my nails. Goodbye, Hollow Taco. I love you. You will be missed. Here I'm using the most amazing tool known to man. They're the Members Mark alcohol wipes. These things are amazing for all kinds of uses. Right now I'm just using them to clean off the surface of my natural nail and my hands from all that sticky residue from the polish and the acetone. Now we get to clean up the nail, whipping out my fingernail clippers and my cuticle pusher. Don't worry, you're not going to have to see me clip all of my nails. I just want to show you guys how I do the first nail. Then a little bit of filing to make things smooth and rounded. Another top product, Sally Hansen Instant Cuticle Remover. You put this stuff on each cuticle, leave it on for like 5 minutes, and your cuticles will melt away. Now we wait. So I actually fell asleep. This is the next day. You'll notice that my cuticles don't... Oh no, it's not the next day yet. But whenever I go to use my cuticle nippers, it is the next day. And you'll be able to tell by how difficult it is to pull off my cuticles. See, grab, yank. Grab, yank. But even with waiting a day, I swear that was so much easier than if I just would have gone in on a dry hand, or if my cuticles hadn't been melted at all. And again, the alcohol wipe. Boom, sanitized tool. Let's whip out the Makartt nail pump ups. These are full cover stiletto nails. I'm just going through trying to size out each nail. This set actually didn't have like a 00, and that's usually what I use on my thumb. So I had to go a little bit smaller for my thumb than I normally would like, but I wanted to use everything that was inside the box, or at least as much as possible. And since I was using polygel, it wasn't a big deal that it didn't fit exactly, because I can always build it up. Those little moon shapes, those are so cute. And again, we are definitely using the nail extension gel today. Also, we got this nail liner. I used a gold glittery one on a previous set of nails, and I couldn't get the line to be smooth and thin. It worked a lot better with this black one, though, I will say. This is how not to pour, by the way. It's funny, you'll actually see that stain spread further and further and further as the video goes on. But that's the right way to pour some gelish slip solution into the pan. Now this stuff, okay, I take the cover off. This is the 4-in-1 gel. And I thought there was another cover on top of it, like maybe the first cover didn't remove all of it. So I started trying to peel the cover back and I was like, why is that not moving? And then it turns into more of an ASMR situation for me. It just feels so unique. It's like a thick putty texture, but it has no tack to it. It's not sticking to my finger at all. And I was going to use this to apply the nails to my own nail. But instead I decided to play in it, and that I was going to save it for possibly making some charms later, since it doesn't stick to your fingers. So I'm switching instead to the Orly Gel Effects Builder Gel. This stuff is amazing if you want just a solid barrier on your own nail before you go in with any other product. And you'll notice I sped this up because I take so long getting that perfect amount by my cuticles. Because if you build this up too much, it's going to look thick and just kind of cakey. So I'm really careful when using that. And I like to hover my hand upside down for about 30 seconds, then flash cure real quick so that they lock in at that apex being bigger. Now grabbing our polygel tool, squeezing out some gel, Oh, and mastering the exact amount to use. I am no professional by any stretch of the imagination, but figuring out how much to use exactly is a struggle. So, just so you're aware, this is not enough. But I would rather start with less and build it than get way too much in the beginning and then have to file it all down later. And just smoothing it out with the slip solution. Trying to get a nice even coat flat on the edge of the cuticle so that whenever I go to press it in, I'll have enough coverage there to build on top of. And then just smoothing the rest out toward the bottom of the nail, making sure that it hits the point all the way so at least the shape is built and I can build the structure as I go. So I'm just continuing to fill so that there's no opacity seen through the top of the nail. Then pressing onto the cuticle first and then pressing down, smoothing out the underside, and a quick cure. And now essentially using the full cover nail as a poppet and just popping it off. I will say the cleaner you make your polygel and the less overlap you have with the full cover tip, the easier it's going to be to take these off. That was my problem half of the time, is that I just kept putting on too much polygel on the outer edges, so it was almost like holding down the full cover tip so that it couldn't just seamlessly pop off. This one was probably the easiest nail out of all of them. That's why I left that one on camera. And now I'm just going in and adding that extra polygel to the edges where it's a little thinner, or it didn't quite go to the edge of my nail because that full cover tip was smaller than my actual nail. And we just smooth. Pushing as far as I can up to that cuticle. I want that to be the smoothest section to make it look as realistic as possible. And then making sure where my natural nail ends on the side, making sure that it still connects to the false nail so that it doesn't look disconnected from my own nail. I love working with polygel. Well, it's a love-hate relationship. I hate working with it because it's so sticky, and literally everything in my hands ends up so sticky. I mean, I have to use a spray bottle of alcohol and a cloth and soak it in alcohol to be able to clean my hands off in between each set of nails. But I also love it because it's like working with clay. It's probably the most creative nail product I've ever used. You know, you have a lot of workability with it. It's not gonna set and lock in place when you're not ready. You have full control until you're done with it. Then you can set it by putting it under the UV lamp. I just wish it wasn't so sticky. Or I wish I wasn't so messy. Now I'm just drilling down all of the edges using, I believe these are my Makartt nail tips, or drill tips, and using the e-file. I did actually start with a hand file while I was outside, and then I came in because I wanted to save more time, and I switched to my safety bit so that I didn't hurt my cuticles and I could smooth out the edges. Now that everything is smoothed out, I'm going in with that black nail liner and making our clean line. Don't breathe. Boom. And just finessing that and fixing the edges. This is actually the second hand, so technically my second attempt. The first hand really was not this smooth because I had way too much polish on the brush. So if you go to use these, just clean the polish off inside the bottle first so that you don't have an extra amount of polish on the brush. If it wants to drip, it's probably too much. Now going in with the Makartt top coat. Oh, this is so satisfying. This is when I love to see the nails come together. You get that top coat on, everything gets sparkly and shiny again. Love it. Again, I'm trying to be really careful around the edges of my nail bed. Now adding the little moon adornments, moon charms, what are you going to call them. I just put on some more top coat and let it remain tacky while I put on the moons. I'm just trying to figure out spacing and how I want it to look. I wasn't really sure exactly. And as you can see, I changed dramatically from where I put it first, trying to just get that perfect spacing. I definitely wanted one in the top corner, but I didn't know how I wanted the second one. But now that I perfected it, flash cure that as fast as you can. And there we have it. A full set of nails done with the Your Nail Lab monthly subscription box from Makartt. Bye.